Let's see Psalms 111 verse 2. I'll be reading RSV. It says, great are the works of the Lord, studied by all who have pleasure in it. Notice something remarkable there. It says, studied. The psalmist says God's word are to be studied. God never discouraged the careful investigation of his word, of his creation. Science properly understood is simply a systematic study of what? Of God's work. The work that the Lord has done. So science is a systematic study of this work. When astronomers study the stars, what are they looking? They are studying what God has already spoken into existence. When physicians, they are studying about human body, what are they doing? They are studying the masterpiece of God's design. When researchers are investigating about diseases, what are they doing? They are exploring how God's creation functions after the fall. And that's why when we talk about scientific discovery, it is not about science creating the truth. There is a truth already. So science is about discovery. Proverbs chapter 25 verse 2 is interesting. And I want you to look at it with me. It says, it is the glory of God to conceal a matter, but the glory of the king is to search out matters. So God delights in human being investigating his creation. So every legitimate scientific discovery is another glimpse into God's wisdom. Look at Isaac Newton once remarked that he felt like a child picking a shell on the seashore while the great ocean of truth lay undiscovered before him. So the more we truly discover about creation, the more we ought to marvel about what? The Creator. Verse 6 says, when he has said this, he spat on the ground. Please, I want you to note something. And made clays with the saliva, and he anointed the eyes of the blind man with the clay. Now, this was Jesus using means. Verse 7 says, and he said to him, go wash in the pool of Siloam, which is translated sent. So he went and washed and came back saying, Jesus could have simply spoken a word. Instead, Jesus spat on the ground and he made a mud and he applied it to the man's eyes and he instructed him, go wash in the pool of Siloam. Why? Certainly not because Jesus lacked power. This teaches us something that is profound. That God's power is not diminished because he uses means. Number one is that sometimes he heals instantly. He only spoke the word and it happens. Sometimes he heals through a process. Sometimes he heals through means. The method belongs to God. Now, not only the method, the glory also belongs to God.